Art students, I'm back again with another video, and this is another close-up video, and this is what we are going to work with today. And I drew it off camera. I drew it a little slower so that I could get more of the proportions right the first time instead of inking it and then later on looking at it and saying, oh, it's off, as I look for my blue pencil who loves to escape from me. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. That way, if you have characters or you have like a character that may not be yours, but you like it and you want to draw it, you can pretty much put it in this position. Or you can use this position to draw your character. So what I'm going to do mostly is focus on the body, because if you are new to drawing, which I'm setting my goals on, found it to, to help more of you who are really new to drawing, to try to take you from this point to way off to this point as being a better artist overnight. So I'm going to focus more on the body versus try to do each individual muscle. I was playing with the muscles here and it just got muscular. That's just me. So all right, let's go ahead and I'll show you how to do this, and it's really simple. Once you get it, it's like a puzzle. I always say the body's like a puzzle. You have all these pieces you put together, and then when you put them together, you have a drawing, anatomy drawing. Okay, first thing, hopefully I can get this on paper. It'll probably be a little smaller than this, but I'm going to show you the basics. Always start with the torso, unless you're doing really close up, and you have to get that head in there kind of first or second. So start with the torso. I'm going to make this smaller because I don't want to take the chance. Torso is not a circle, and it's not like an oval like that. Can you see this? My camera is dangerously close, zoomed in. It's just zoomed in past the point where it can blur on me. So I'm going to try to make this darker because I want you guys to see this. So we have that. That's your torso. Then I want to do my center line, whichever way he's turned, center line. And it's not going to be straight. It's going to be round, just like this. If I took an egg and I'm looking for something round, if I took this thing and I drew a line on it, yeah, this is perfect line. This little gold line, it would look straight. I'm trying to get it in the camera. That line looks straight, but when you turn it, you see that it is round. It has the same roundness as the ball. This has the same roundness as this side over here, pretty much. So remember, don't go straight down. Kind of get that roundness to it. That may be a little too far over. I want to try to keep this as close to this as possible. So that's not turned too much. All right, so when doing the torso, if you remember to do the beetle, the steps to drawing the beetle, as I call it, then you'll be able to get it. So you have this, and then you have your collarbone. Now, it's important if you wanted to tilt the collarbone, this is where you would tilt it. Of course, a tilted collarbone makes for more action. And then from there, you want to do the tunnel or the mountain, whichever you choose. You want to get it to come almost halfway up. So if I continue this, it would go down like this. And remembering this is on an angle. This is not straight like this. So you're going to start over here and up. And then you're going to, at this point where this circle meets the straight line and this bottom of this mountain meets that curve, you're going to bring a curve around. Try to keep it like this, but keep it pretty much curved like that. It should touch. It should touch. It should touch. This doesn't touch, but I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. So right above that, I usually do a straight line. You just do a straight line for now, and we curve it up like that. Then bring this off, and then a nice oval or circle for your delt. It's going to be more of an oval, but usually I'll just say a circle. All right, so now that you have that, you have your torso, and everything should be in place. Remember, you have this room here, and I just did a video on about the neck. You have this point here. Your collarbone you have this little dip, which I don't know what it's called, and your collarbone comes up and over, and it kind of holds the delt in place. This is how I look at it. So we have this curve here, and that goes right up under the delt, and that actually forms your delt. This is like kind of like one piece almost. And then since this is turned, you're going to have just a little bit of your delt right here, a little bit of that circle right here off the end of this collarbone, like that. And then, of course, again, this is going to come up, and it's going to go down into that delt, that point of that delt. Okay, back on the neck. Wherever this little dip here is, you're going to have this V that comes up, and that determines where it stops here and here, or where it stops. Where's my blue? Where's my blue? He disappeared again. There he is. you're going to have the thickness of the neck. Now, I didn't have to bring it all the way out here. I could have made it a little thinner. Could have brought it like right here and here. It just has a really thin neck. Or I could take it way out here and way out here to give them a thicker neck, depending on the size of your character that you want. Yeah, let's erase this. So then from there, I'll take my neck up just a bit and then put my head on however I want to put my head on. And usually when I'm doing this, it determines which way my character is going to look. I feel it. It's just me. But since we're doing this, I want to continue on to that. So, and you do this until you get like the size of your head. I mean, I can take it back and say, okay, this is good enough, but let me take it down a little bit. I don't want it so high up. And that's the reason for using 2-color pencils. That way, when I find what I need, or the shape that I need, I can outline it in that blue. And then if I go back to ink it, I know not to use all these extra lines up here. And then your neck is going to come down. Basically, wherever your ear is, you want to bring that neck straight down. Because his jaw, usually, if I draw, where's my another piece of paper? I don't like drawing on my example papers. If I draw a head, I like to bring my neck straight down from that side of that face to give me that kind of manly look. But if his face is, if he's turned a little bit, that neck is not going to be able to, it's still going to go where that ear is, but if he turns a little bit, and this is the center line, then that neck has to be on the side of the top part of the head. Now I could bring this back a little bit more if I chose to, or maybe even bring the top of the skull back just a little bit more, because your chin on a profile, the center line, that's your chin right there. So that's going to be like in the center of your head. So when you turn, it's going to be here, and you're still going to see some of this back here. And it all depends on how much you turn that character. So just remember that. So if I do the chin, I see, as you see, I don't bring the chin any lower than this circle. I kind of like put the chin on the circle. Sometimes, you know, I might dip it a little lower depending on the tilt of the head. Drawing is all about, it depends. Depends on what you're looking for, depends on what you're trying to do. But this one is like right there, so I'll do a little straight line for my chin. I can round it off if I need to. Bring it up, bring that up, and then form that head. So with this, which is left over is the shoulders, I will bring the shoulders up to make them a little more powerful. Depends on the type of character that I want. I mean, if he's an average man, no. If he's like Thor or somebody, yes. So now when I bring a straight line across here, a lot of times what I actually do is I'll curve it. I'll curve it because the pec is lowest right here. I'm trying to figure out what that ding is. My phone, somebody's messaging me. I thought I was cooking something. So I'll get that curve so that I can get that pec like that. And then the delt goes like this and that. So you're getting that shape without having to try to find all these extra muscles. All right, so we have this, we have this. Let's do that arm. Now your delt is going to go back to red, blue is for example. Your delt is going to be an oval like that. Because if you look at this, I don't have to move it because it's still on camera. This isn't basically the shape of an oval. So whenever you draw, you want to get the basic shape of that particular thing, which makes it a little easier for you. So on this oval like this, the delt is going to come on the top of it like that. And that's pretty simple, just to draw an oval. Here's my oval. And that delt forms as part of this formation here, like that. It's just that, that's it. And this comes down to the chest. So that arm actually tucks up under that chest, and then you have your lat, not really under it, but it connects. It connects. As I said, my thing is dangerously close to blurring. Let me drop this down again a little bit more, because it's like right on the edge of blurring. All right, so sorry it had to go smaller, but as I said, I don't want it to blur. I don't want to start doing a great lesson and it starts to blur on you. So now you know how to tuck the bicep under the delt. And this comes around, and at the top of this is going to be your collarbone that goes over here, and then you have your shoulder and you have your neck. So it's simple to draw. It's just your proportions you have to worry about, because your delt actually does this. It kind of like cuts right on the edge of the chest, and this is just kind of indentation. It's not a cut line like between your chest. So we're getting to the arm. So you have this, what I said, this is a circle. So if you do this circle and you do a oval, it's going to cut just like this. Using my blue, can you see this? It's going to be like this, and that's your delt. This is your bicep. Tricep could be back behind here a little bit, depending on how much the arm is turned. And then you do a, how do I have it? You do a triangle or cone. If it's round, this is a triangle, crooked triangle. This is a cone because it's round. Okay, so if I say triangle or cone, you know what I'm saying. Once you round it off, it becomes a cone. So whatever I say, you'll understand now. All right, back to the drawing. So we have this, and don't try to make it perfect. That's why I use so many lines, so I can get the right angle or proportion that I want. Then you want to go up. So my elbow is going to be down here, so it is going to connect this point. And remembering, I'm going to chop the hand off wherever. And this is going to be as long as this. So I don't want this way up here somewhere, unless I'm doing some kind of crazy creature or something. Or somebody whose hand turned into a blade, which you can do, because once you get this done, you can turn it into whatever you want. Remembering to keep it a little thick and then curve it, because this is going to be thicker here than this here. So wherever it is, I curve it out, curve it around. And if you get just a shape right, then your character can be more muscular without trying to figure out where every muscle is. So since this is in front of this, it's going to cut through just like that. If it was the other way around, that was in front of this, that was in front of this, this would cut through like this. But because you can't really flip your arm back that way, it's going to be the other way around. It's not going to go all the way and cut. It's going to stop, right? I can't show you this line. See how this line just kind of stopped? It doesn't go all the way across my arm, so it stops. So then you're going to have a hand, and we're going to get to the hand later. So right now, just do a square. Let's just do a basic rectangle. We'll get into that later. Same thing with the other side. You have a circle. Then you want to have an oval, and I'm going to try to keep it at the same angle. My oval, however long your bicep is. And then we're going to have the cone. Now, the more that you have this curved, the more it's going to tilt down to you or up to you. If it was just like this, you could just draw a triangle, flat triangle. But as your arm comes up, you see how it starts to get rounder and rounder and rounder. So the more it points to you, the more rounder it's going to become. Get them biceps. Get them biceps. Yeah. Not yet. Thanksgiving hurt me. I got to get back on the treadmill, which happened to have died on me. My treadmill died. I was like, oh my God, I was ready to get on the treadmill, and the engine just wouldn't do. Considering I had it since like 1980 something. You know, I think it lasted pretty long to 2021. It did a pretty good job for lasting. It's just, treadmills are so expensive nowadays. Okay, so yeah, so if I continue this, I'm actually drawing the muscle. If I continue this, I'm drawing that cone because it's round. It's not flat. So, and then again, and then I'm going to do that circle, cut that off because my hand is going to go there. And I put another square there for a fist. Pretty simple, pretty simple. All right, so now we're going to do this. I'm going to come down this. And sometimes I may make this too long, but I can correct that in a while. So you just be mindful not to make that too big, because you don't want it too long, because you still have to have your waist and your hips. So we have this without being overly muscularized. You put this little dip, which makes the chest look a little better, curve, and it curves up. You have this, so you don't really have any muscles, but he's still muscular. So we're gonna, not here, but maybe a little bit out. You're gonna put that little, and then come straight down and in. I can go straight down, but I want to give him a small, kind of a tighter waist. So I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit. So basically what I'm doing is I'm adding this little, it's an oval. No, it's not an oval. That's why I call it the tuna can. It just reminds me of a tuna can, because if I made it round all the way, it would be basically, and for the life of me, I can't think of what that shape is right now, like a hockey puck or something, or just tuna can. So after that, okay, so we have that in a straight line, straight down, unless he's twisting or bending, which he's not. Then you want to add the upside down house, like that. This point is going to be at the top of the roof of that upside down house. And then you have your body. Simple, quick, and easy without having to do a lot of fuss and muss. So your leg is going to be an oval too. And you're just going to have to kind of, what am I saying? You're going to have to feel the actual size of it, length of it. And I use this large muscle here to kind of guide me as far as the shape, because this muscle comes like right up there. So if I do this, and this is way down here, then I know if that leg is too long. All right, so one thing that I stepped away for a second is and I always say, when you get to a point where you want to add detail, stop for a few seconds, turn your picture over, look at something else around the room, or get up and walk away, kind of clear your head of the image, and come back, turn it over, and then you will be able to see things. Put it down, Brian, I'm trying to get it in the camera. You can see things that, it'll be fresh in your head. Like I can say, okay, this leg could be a little bit longer, could be a little thicker. And the same with the other, unless it's going like back in more perspective. I could say like they could be thinner and give him less width and more of a turn. This come down, and it's going to come down. It's going to be really close where you can see this. So yeah, just you turn your picture over, and then you come back, and then you can see what you have done. Is it right? Is it wrong? Okay, so underneath this circle, because your ribs are, where's my thing? Your rib cage is like this, shaped like that. And underneath that is going to be this here, and I'll do this. I'll just do this as we do it in the drawing. It's like this. The tuna can is going to be right here. And then under that, you're going to have your upside down house. Now under here, this represents the love handles, which is your obliques. And that comes around and down like this. So basically you're going to have like this shape. That's your oblique shape. And this is going to go right down into your crotch, which is part of your stomach muscles. So you're going to have that like that, and then your legs and your buttocks. Your legs come up into this, and your buttocks are going to, you're going to see just a little piece of that. But when we draw the shorts on them, you don't see that. So this is going to come down. Like I said, this is a circle. So this is going to come down like this. It's going to come down, and at the bottom, did I do it at the top? Yeah, top and bottom. It's going to come down like this. But once you put the shorts on, and you might put a belt or whatever on, you won't have to see that. But this is just for knowledge sake. So right here, where this love handle or obliques come, it curves in. It curves in like that, just like this. It's going to come down, and it kind of curves in like that. So this could be, depending on how wide this is. This would be like an indentation in the skin, and it could be black. And then you do your abs, which I didn't put abs on this guy, but if you do, it's going to be round. If this whole thing is round, just like, where's the ball at? This line looks straight here. Can you see that? It's a little beat up. That line looks like it's straight, but when you turn it, it goes around. So if this was the abs and it's coming down, where is it at? I want you to see the line. And see that it curves around. So if there were several lines, the line's going to curve around the body. So same thing, it's going to curve, curve, and then curve. And I'm just kind of like screwing it up with all these lines now. I'll make it a little darker later. But just with that, you have plenty of muscle if you get the shapes right. Plenty of muscle. So your bicep and your tricep split. Whenever you turn your arm, basically it's like this. Whenever you turn your arm up or down, this bicep is going to turn up and down too. So it's kind of like the top is going to face the fist almost. If I turn my fist down, bicep is going to go this way. Top of it anyway. If I turn my fist up, the top of the bicep is going to come up. So just that's something to think about. So when you're doing like a double bicep flex pose, just know your biceps are going to be facing up. Then of course they're going to separate, and that's just another oval, and your triceps are going to be down below. So depending on how muscular your character is, you're just doing another oval. Your triceps are down below like that. All right, so let's do this hand, and then I'm going to turn this into one of my characters. And that's the hard part for me to do, is like what character would actually pose like this, or what character would fit, especially size-wise and pose. And because I did one on signature poses. So this is my coloring book. I did a coloring book. I'm like, you know what? I can do a coloring book. So I did a coloring book. So to me, this guy right here fits the bill. Let's see if I can find a picture of this guy. So these are some, some good, good stuff you can color. This is the guy right here. I think he fits the bill for this particular pose right there. So I want to start changing my drawings using my characters. Changing my drawings using my characters. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to turn my drawings into my characters. I'm just going to use the raw, naked position to show you how to do it. Then off camera, I'll ink it and put my character into that, and then show you the end. All right, so we got this. So whenever I do a hand, raw, naked character, yeah, that's what I said. Whenever I do a hand, I think of a box, because again, square, tuck the thumb off, take these fingers off, it's square. If I make a fist, it's kind of square. If I turn it, it's got kind of a square. If I turn it again, it's still kind of a square, but it just has an angle. So if you think about squares all the time, then you should be good. So with this one, you see in the back of the guy's hand. So I'm doing this little box here, and I'm doing this little box there. That was pretty simple. Just this little square, but the square is going like this way, kind of like in perspective. And one day I'll show you how to do the whole body in perspective like that. It's going down. Okay, so that's the basis of that. So I'm going to get this palm, because too bad I can't turn my hand. This meaty part of the palm is going to be right here, because this is a fist and it's going that way. So you notice while I got my hand twisted in an uncomfortable position, you see this part of the palm, and you see this part of the palm here going to the thumb, and the thumb going up in my hand. But in this position, it's not. It's not. So just like get that meaty part right here, and then you're going to see 4 fingers basically. However you turn your hand, you're going to see, I don't want to say in every position, you're always going to see this finger right here. This is the highest finger. This finger goes down below. So if I did a fist here, you're going to see 2 fingers. If I turn it over, you're still going to see that's going to be the last finger. This one here, you won't see this one because it tucks behind this high finger. So you're going to see the lines, and you're going to see the knuckles, and it's kind of like coming downhill. And what I say is like this. So I'll just say, here's my first finger, second finger, and third finger. You're only going to see 3 fingers. So I'm going to have to use blue because I've got too many lines right now. This is 1, 2, 3. So you're going to see that knuckle coming up. You're going to see that other knuckle, and then coming up, you're going to see that other knuckle. So you have that angle kind of like going like that from the top of the fist. And then of course, you're going to have this one highest, this one, and this one, and it's going to kind of go back at an angle. So this, and then turn it in, because that goes in. You're still dealing with, where's my hand and I'm trying to show you. You're still dealing, I'll use this finger. You're still dealing with squares. You see how this is more of a square, so when it tucks in, it's still a square. So it's going to come out, back, and in, and it tucks in up and up into that palm. And if I turned it more, I'm still using the wrong side, but that's okay. If I turned it more, you would see the other part of the palm. So at this angle, because it's from the back, you see this part of the palm here, you don't see the other side. So, and you see how I'm saying, you see the knuckles, 1, 2, 3, and they go back, and this tucks in as a square. Like that. And it's just, hands are just something you're just going to have to kind of practice and practice and practice. You just take a whole day and do hands. And then they kind of go up and then back at a kind of a downward angle, and then just have that little Y, the letter Y there. I make that palm a little bit, and then just make your wrist a little bit bigger. And depending on the angle, you might see the knuckle from this very last one, but this one juts out so much it's hard to see that knuckle. Again, depends on the position that you are doing. And I give this a little curve in here because it's got that little curve in here. Instead of making it straight, there's a little curve, and it goes right into the wrist. Okay, the other side is a little more easier because it's more of the square with just the fingers. Remember, this is going to come up, straight up. This side goes up and out. So this is going to come up and out, and I'm going to angle this. So doing it in blue because I have so many lines. So many lines. The thing is, I would say if you're having trouble on hands, just find you a bunch of because people in Pinterest, you just go on Pinterest and find like hands, and people draw just tons of hands and just draw those over and over until it becomes like second nature, like drawing the letter B or drawing the letter K. I mean, that's so second nature for whatever letters you use. You've done it so much, it's second nature, and that's all drawing is. You do it so much, it just becomes, second nature, and it becomes easy. That's why comic book artists just can kick out stuff. It just looks good because they've drawn. Some of these guys may be drawing like 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Deadlines, I hate deadlines. Okay, so we have this. We're going to have a line across here, and we're going to have another one across here. So basically what that is keep a pencils from running away. That is this line and this line here, because how's it? It's like this. It's like this. Get it on camera. So you're going to have the top line with the knuckles, which is this one here. This next line is going to be here, and this third line is going to be here. So from there, I can do this. I can say here's 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers. Then down, 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and the 4th finger. And then you have your palm. Now see that palm is a little too wide, so what I can do is I can make these fingers longer, but I'm not trying to make it perfect, because this is just to show you guys how. So you have this split right here and here that's going to come out. So you're going to have, what I do is I do like the little ball. That's just me. Right here, coming off of this red line. Right here is my red line. Here's the ball that comes out just a little bit. And to me, that just represents this little piece that comes out off of this straight line here. This line is straight here. So you have this little corner of the thumb right here, this little point right here, coming off of this straight line, and it tucks in. So I just do like a little ball to kind of represent that, like that. Then I will do, you have 1, 2 bends. So this ball is here. Get it on camera. This ball is here. You have this one bend at the ball and this other bend right here. So 1 and then 2. Or basically I'll put my thumb where I want to put my thumb. So this is going to be my thumb. Then I put this one here, and then this goes back into the ball. And all I did with the fingers was just like do this. Especially if it's a small hand. Can you see that? I know it's kind of light. Just like that. And then that tucking in, and then again is my thumb here, and then goes down into the palm. And this, you know, if need be, you can, when you start doing detail, then you can add more detail, and it depends on how close that your drawing is. Because there's so many variables in drawing, you can't say this is how you draw that, period, now go home, because it, like I said, it's depending on what you want, depends on the angle, depends on the size, depends on the character, depends on the what do you call that, the not nature, but the sex of the character. Is it a woman? A woman's body is going to be different from a man's. A woman's hands are going to be different from a man's hands. Legs are definitely different. So yeah, all right, so we have this here. I think the difference between, this is my head. This head is lower, this head is higher, but you can replace the head however you choose to. But going back on it, they were all shapes. They were all shapes. You start out with this, you do the beetle, you add this, which is a circle, and remember, because I did it again. I'm so used to, and I'll show you my mistake, which I kind of see, and I kind of love to do. If I'm drawing a character, because this is how I learned to draw, and later on I realized what the problem was, then I'll do my collarbone and I'll put my delt right here on the side, coming off this whole body. It's just like touching the side of the oval. But when that person turns like this, when it's straight, that's fine. When he turns, this has to come into the body again. I did it with this one. See, this is why I wanted to take, I wanted to draw it off camera so that I can see my mistakes, because when I draw, I'm gonna do a quick drawing, little things, I might miss a few little things, and later on, if I ink this, I would have said, oh my God, I messed up, I didn't show them right. So whenever you turn the body, that delt has to come in, it's off of this circle right here like this, but once you turn that body, it has to go into that circle. The more you turn the body, the more this delt is gonna come in on you. So it's like that. And then, I know this is old, but it might still work. It's like this. Here's my collarbone. It's going to separate those delts. The delt is going to come in like that. This is going to be way out there. And then you're going to have your arm, however your arm is. So that delt has to come in, because if I ink that, his chest is too far out. So if I redid this, just something to remember, bring that delt in, which is going to have to redo that, because this and this, it didn't look right, but I didn't really say anything. So it's going to be more here going into that body. I have to bring that bicep up a little bit. So this right here splits. I always use just a center line to split those, because there are three heads of that delt, which takes that chest in a little bit more, which is better, because you have those striation that comes from this delt up in here, because you have a little indentation of the skin right in there, but that's only when you're drawing like really, really, really close up. So yeah. And then this, have that so round, because this goes behind the chest. That's just like if I have this turn and then I do the whole circle without putting it behind this, the pec right there, it would be totally, totally wrong. So this is why you have this, and you just have a little of that showing behind it, and then your arm comes out there. So looking at this again, making sure I cover everything, and these muscles, and I forget what these things are called. In most cases, if you go straight up to the waist, what I do is I put a point here, and I kind of like do it like a curve straight up to this point. That will tell me where my, God knows I can't think of what that's called, and do a fang, like a fang, tiger fang, lion fang, whatever. Then I could put my ribs here. And I think you only see four or five maybe. And after this is your lats. You won't see any muscle here, because, you know, any indentation for muscle, because your lats are just one big old spread. And then from here, if you choose, you can have, these are shaped like this. And I said I wasn't going to do that because that messes people up. But since I got it started, and I show this a lot, these are shaped kind of like this, like the tiger claws, okay? And under this line, you have the rest of your ribs. That is if your character's like really, really kind of muscular, you know, cut and muscular. So yeah, so with that, you're good to go. Let me do a quick face, center line. Where's my face gonna go? Center that. Find my eyes from this point to this bottom of this chin. Here is the bottom of my chin going this far. So at this point and this point, kind of come down. Same thing here from this point, you're not gonna see too much of that though, because it's turned like that. Then you find that center where your nose is gonna go. And then just under that, your mouth, and your mouth is gonna be right there on this turn, both sides of the turn, where it turns right here. At that turn, your mouth is gonna go. Now, if your head is tilted a little bit, you're gonna round it off. If it's straight up, you're gonna make it straight just like this. His head is tilted, I got it tilted now, so I'm gonna kind of like round it. So if I did a whole thing, it would go to here, so I'm gonna round it just a little bit. And then you should see me leaning in my chair. Usually I'll just turn my page like that. Then I'll do this. Here's my nose. Going up to over the eye. Nostril, depends on how much detail I want to put. I can put the other one there. Usually don't, just black that in, get a little shadow. This is gonna come all the way up over the eye, the eyebrow, and the eye is gonna be on that line. And if I put another eye right here, this other eye should be right there. Come on, pen, right. And then of course, eyebrows there. Center nose, your nose, this is where I mess it up. Not that I'm gonna keep it. That should be the size of your nose, size of your nose. The size of your nose should fit in the center of your eye. So the width of your nose, let's draw a nose, like here's my nose. Here's my nose right here. This should be the size of your eye. Use blue, this is why I use two colors. Let's just say, man, that's the size of your eye right there. Unless you're drawing like a smaller, you know, nose woman that has had the cosmetic surgery, you know, whatever you call that, when they do the nose job. The mouth should come to the center of the eye, both sides. And the chin should be, I think the chin should be like the same size as the nose. Again, depending on your character, you could be doing a big old chin, you know, bully kind of character. But those are your basic measurements that the world has put on, you know, the perfect face. The perfect face should be like a triangle. I forgot, is it triangle like this, triangle? So I could never figure it out. It's like a perfect triangle. Everything should fit in that perfect triangle. Do that in red. But that's, you know, what the beauty secrets of the world put on you. If your face doesn't fit in that triangle somehow, then you're ugly, okay? If your nose is too big, you're ugly. If your mouth is crooked, you're ugly. So according to the world, but you know, I don't listen to the world. So there you go. There's your face measurements, and this, which is important, you have this brow that comes out and then down right in the center of the eye, and then it comes out and you have that cheekbone. So that's going to come your head. Your brow comes out right there. At that point is where your eye is, and it comes back out and it goes down because you have your cheekbones like right here. Right there. So just remember that because you have that hard brow of your skull here. And of course it's underneath that. That's where you have the shadow. This is going to be that bone for your nose. Your nose is going to come down here. Your nostril, and depending on the angle, you may see the other parts, you may not, but I kind of like to put it in shadow. And then you have, because of that brow, you have that shadow here. Same thing with the other side. See, I just messed up my thing. I didn't want to mess it up, but it's not like I'm keeping this. So let's just do a quick eye just for those, just because. Two ways to do eye. You can do an eye traditionally, the right way, when it comes like this. This is going to be higher, this is going to be lower, okay? So it's kind of like an oval like that. This is going to be higher and comes down. This is going to be lower and comes down and it comes up. And that's kind of like how your eye is, but you got to get it right. Or you could just do the football, and it depends on how close up the eye is, like that. And a lot of times if I'm doing a small eye, I'll just do this. I'll just do this and this like that. Quick, easy eye. And then I will, using my pen, I will round this off just right here, and then right here, and then just like that. And it's kind of like the same football, but if I need to get it straight, I'll do that. Do this shape like that. And then you put the eye here. And what I kind of like to do from anime is you always have to have that light source somewhere. Then I will have my other circle here, which is the pupil or the iris. There's three things. This is your pupil, iris, and cornea. I think that might be the cornea. I think. Okay, anyway. You have that. Then I just blacken this whole thing, leaving that light source like that. Then I will put a heavy shadow over top of here to indicate that that is in depth. The eyes go back. I will also darken, thicken this part here. Because of the shadow, because your eye is shaped. Come on, Brian, now you're doing an eye tutorial. Your eye is shaped like this, like that, from the side. Here's your nose, okay? So because this is out higher and your lashes, you're gonna get the sun is coming down here. So this is blocking it. So you have more shadow up under here. Here's your eye, your pupil, your cornea. But you're always gonna have that light source from whatever the light is reflecting off of. So like I said, I'll do a thicker shadow here and a thinner one here, and thick here to thin, keeping that light source somewhere. Now if I'm going to do like the speckles with the color in the eyes, I'll do this. And I don't take all the lines all the way across like this, just take them all the way across. I'll break them up half all the way coming in, and that just kind of like breaks it up, gives you, better look like that. And then you can add your color. The person's got blue eyes or whatever. And if I do color, I'll do a dark, really dark at the top and very light at the bottom, almost kind of fade out. Because you get less light here and more light there. So I would, if I had a deeper blue, I will do I don't think that's blue. And I don't think that's blue either. I would do another, like a darker blue right here. For the sake of me doing this video, let me get a color pencil. If I can find my color pencils. I haven't used them in so long. Is that blue or black? Hopefully this is blue. It's dark in here. Okay, so I'll take another blue, darken it and fade it out like that. So it would look like that. Can you see that? Yeah, this is how I do eyes. And if I'm coloring the eyes, this is what I do the color. So I don't know why I got on a whole eye tutorial. So yeah, this is that. 50 minutes, my God, this takes me more time to do a small one than it does to do a speed drawing and a short one and something. Anyway, you're learning. So now I'm going to cut here and I'm going to turn this into my character, which is here in my Extreme Superhero coloring book. Now, I did this when I was trying to learn Photoshop. I was looking for pictures and there were not too many pictures of heroes or superheroes that I could color in Photoshop. So I said, let me just do this. So I came up with this book, and I'm going to use these characters. I'm going to use them more. These are just characters, like I said, I just off the top of my head, I just created them. So I'm going to turn them into more of my characters and then maybe put them in my comic books later. All right, so yeah, I'm going to turn this into that character, and then I'll be back in a second. And yeah, you'll see what I came up with. So I'm a photocopy. I'm going to photocopy this so that I can have the photocopy part and the part the original, which I'm going to draw on because I can't erase the photocopy part. All right, let's go to the next video. Next part of the video. All right, so here is the finished product. Problem is, I forgot to make a copy of it before I inked it, but that's okay because this is the finished product, is what I wanted. But I would have liked to show you the before and after, and maybe I'll use some YouTube trickery magic to show you the before and after. So yeah, as I say, this is it. So if you're liking these videos, please, number one, give me a thumbs up, and two, subscribe if you haven't, and number three, tell a friend, so that you guys can become great artists together watching Brian Proctor's YouTube channel. All right, so that's going to be it. I'm just fishing to ramble. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Hopefully. All right, later.